Stepdad moved his daughter into my house, changed locks. Mom disowned me for her new family when I called the cops. My stepdad, Carson, hauled his stuck-up daughter Vanessa into my brand new house and even swapped out the locks on me. I had to call the police to sort it out, and even though I knew my mom had some rough history with cops, she ended up cutting me off completely over her new family. So, here's the deal, I'm 32 years old, a regular guy who just got himself a house. I was pretty proud of it, so I threw a big housewarming party a few days back. I told all my buddies and family to come over, including my folks. Now, I made it real clear to my mom that I just wanted her and my dad there, nobody else, because I didn't want her dragging her new crew along. My parents split up way back, almost 15 years ago, and about 2 years ago, my mom tied the knot with this guy Carson. He's got a 22-year-old daughter named Vanessa from some other marriage. Let me tell you, Vanessa's the type who thinks she's better than everyone, always acting like she's owed the world, and I can't stand that kind of attitude. Carson's no picnic either, he's grumpy, and I can tell he's got no use for me. So, naturally, I didn't want them showing up to my party. This was a big moment for me, and I didn't need them raining on it. But wouldn't you know it, my mom brought them anyway. When I pulled her aside to ask what was going on, she hit me with this line about how she wanted me to get close to her new family. Said it'd make her so happy if we could all just be one big happy bunch. I didn't want to start a fight right there at my own party, so I bit my tongue and figured I'd handle it some other time. Kept the peace for the night, you know? But then Vanessa starts running her mouth. She's going around to all my friends, trashing my house, saying she could buy something way nicer with her paycheck, which, by the way, is about half what I make. That got under my skin, so I fired back and told her she ought to go get her own place then. Said I'd bet her folks would love seeing their 22-year-old finally move out of their basement. Everybody laughed, and her face turned red as a beet. I could tell she was mortified, but she'd poked at me first, so I didn't lose any sleep over it. I had a house full of people to look after, so I just shrugged her off and went to chat with some other folks. Once the party wound down, everybody cleared out except my mom. Carson and Vanessa had already taken off, but she stuck around. I figured it was time to lay it out straight, so I told her I didn't want her new family hanging around me. I'm in my 30s now, old enough to pick who I let into my life, and her husband and his daughter? They're the kind I'd rather keep at a distance. They're rude, they don't respect me, and I'm not here for it. She tried telling me to give them a shot, then dropped this bombshell. She wanted Vanessa to move into my place for a while since her new job's closer to my house than theirs. Said if I spent some time with her, I'd warm up to her. I shut that down fast. I could barely stand the girl for a couple hours living with her. No way I'd have the patience for that. She's got no manners, acts like a spoiled kid, and I wasn't about to let her mess up my home, the one place I can actually relax. My mom kept pushing, trying to talk me into it, but I stood my ground and told her it wasn't happening, period. She got mad, stormed out, and I didn't bother calling her after that. I wasn't caving to that nonsense. Then yesterday, things went off the rails. I'm at work, and my alarm company pings me, says someone broke into my house. I race back home, and when I get there, I can't even get in. The locks are different. I'm standing there, hearing noises inside, ready to dial the cops, when Carson swings the door open. He tells me I'm not welcome in my own house, says it's my punishment. I'm dumbfounded, so I ask him what he's even talking about. He gets all smug, says he ain't gonna spell it out for me, I've got to figure it out. Then he brings up how I supposedly insulted Vanessa at the party, and since I didn't play nice when they asked her to move in, they're taking my house now. Says I made my mom cry by shutting her down, so he's decided I need to be taught a lesson. I laughed right in his face and told him I'm calling the cops to kick him and his daughter out. They had no right treating my house like it's theirs to claim. He got cocky, said I wouldn't dare call the police because it'd upset my mom, and I knew how much she hated them from some bad stuff in her past. She's got this deep fear of cops, won't even deal with them if something's wrong, so he figured I'd back off to spare her feelings. He even had the nerve to say Vanessa deserved my house more than I did, then slammed the door on me, leaving me out on my own porch. I stood there thinking, and it hit me, I didn't have a choice. They weren't budging, so I called the police. An hour later, they're hauling Carson and Vanessa out of there. Good thing too, because she'd already started unpacking her junk. Carson looked like he couldn't believe I'd gone through with it, probably banking on me being too scared of my mom's reaction. I knew she'd be torn up about it, she's got this trauma tied to cops, but I couldn't see another way. Sure enough, she called me an hour ago, and she wasn't even yelling, which was worse somehow. She sounded hurt, said if I didn't want Vanessa staying with me, I should have just told her, and she'd have fixed it. But calling the cops and getting them kicked out like that? She said she couldn't get past it, that it was something she'd never forgive. Told me she was done talking to me for good. It gutted me hearing her so broken up. She's usually all about the drama, but this was different, like I'd let her down bad. I said sorry, even though I don't think I was wrong, but she just hung up and blocked me. I'm feeling rotten about it all. I couldn't come up with any other fix to get Carson and Vanessa out of my house without the police stepping in. It was my last play. I don't get why my mom's taking it this hard. I know her past with cops was ugly, and it wasn't easy for her, but I think she's missing my side of it too, being kind of selfish here. I didn't mean to drag up her old wounds, it just went down that way. If she's pointing fingers, shouldn't it be at Carson and Vanessa for starting this mess? I'm torn up, man. I can't spill the full story on my mom's history here, it ain't my place, but I'm stuck wondering if I ought to say sorry for getting the cops involved, knowing how she feels about them. Update 1, look, I wasn't planning to get into all this because I didn't think it was right to spill my mom's story without her okay. But I figure it's fine since nobody's going to know who she is from some random post online. Plus, you need to hear why she's so messed up about cops to really get what's going on here. So, about 15 years back, my mom and dad called it quits. After that, the first guy she dated was a police officer, and yeah, you can probably guess how that turned out. This dude was pure poison, one of the worst people I've ever come across, and I still can't believe she stuck with him for over 2 years. He was always tearing her down, making sure she felt like nothing, crushing her confidence every chance he got. He cut her off from everyone too. I'd only see her maybe once or twice a month, and even then, she wasn't really there, looked like her mind was somewhere else. After about a year, he wouldn't let her see anybody at all. Said she had to ditch her old life completely if she wanted to be with him. Guy was jealous, small-minded, and shaky inside, and I wouldn't wish someone like that on anybody. It only ended because he took off one night with some lady he worked with, leaving my mom a note saying he was done with her. Turns out he'd been cheating for 8 months before he bolted. She was a wreck for nearly a year after that, and somehow, she ended up scared stiff of cops. Couldn't even trust them anymore. One time, she lost her purse and wouldn't even call the police about it, that's how bad it got. So you can imagine how she felt when I had to report Carson and Vanessa to the law. It was the one line she couldn't handle me crossing, and they pushed me right into it, knowing it'd tear her up. I'm starting to think they set this whole thing up to drive a wedge between me and her, but I've got no proof, just my gut against whatever they'd say. When the cops showed up, Carson looked a little thrown, but Vanessa? Cool as could be. Can't do much about it now, though. I just hope my mom comes around someday. If she doesn't, I'll live with it. I did everything I could to keep things calm, but her new family wouldn't let it be. It's on her now to pick who she's standing by. Update 2, me and my mom haven't talked for almost 2 weeks since all this went down. Vanessa's probably loving it, judging by what she's posting online. I don't keep up with her, but a buddy sent me a snapshot she put up a couple days ago, her, my mom, and Carson lounging on a beach, shades on, with a caption saying just the family recovering. Recovering from what? Far as I see it, I'm the one who got put through the ringer by her and her dad. I ran it by my old man, and he's got my back, says I handled it right. What else could I have done? He told me something else too. A few weeks before my party, my mom hit him up asking if he knew of any cheap spots near Vanessa's new job where she could crash. My dad's in real estate, mostly selling houses, not renting them, so he told her he couldn't help unless she was buying a place for Vanessa. She said she'd do it if it was her call, but Carson wasn't about to shell out big money for a short-term gig, which makes sense, I guess. What got me mad, though, is my mom wouldn't lift a finger to help me with college costs back in the day, said I needed to learn how to stand on my own 2 feet. But with Vanessa, she's bending over backwards, way more than she ever did for me. And Vanessa's not even her kid. It's like she's tighter with her than she ever was with me. Take this beach trip, my mom always swore she hated the shore, said she'd rather hike in the hills or wander the woods when we'd plan trips. I'm a beach guy myself, but I'd always give in to what she wanted, or she'd bail, and we'd scrap the whole thing. Now she's out there sunning it up for Vanessa, something she'd never do for me. That stings, man. I didn't think her post would hit me this hard, but it did. Feels like Vanessa's got the mom I never had, because mine wouldn't step up for me like that. Hurts to say it. I'm planning to talk to her when she's back, can't take this quiet anymore. Even if it's just to tell her she's let me down and I'm done, we've got to hash it out one last time. Update 3, I asked a pal to keep an eye out and let me know when Vanessa's back from her trip. Found out they rolled into town yesterday. I've got no clue how I'm going to tackle this with my mom, but I know I've got to face it somehow. She's got me blocked on all her social media, so that's out, but my number's still good, so I reckon I'll call her. It's not going to be easy, we haven't spoken in nearly 2 weeks, and we're on rocky ground right now. My dad thinks I should wait a day or two before reaching out, but I'm leaning toward calling her today. She's probably feeling good after her vacation, so maybe she'll pick up. Truth is, I want to get it over with while I've still got the nerve to do it. It's only been a day since I heard she's back, but my stomach's already in knots. What if she doesn't answer, and that's the end of it? I haven't made the call yet because if she ignores it, that'll hit me like a ton of bricks. Me and my mom were never super close, but we had something, you know? If that's gone, I don't know where I'll land. Update 4, alright, so I finally dialed my mom, and we just wrapped up a call that lasted almost half an hour. She said she wants to sit down face to face after I said my piece. I did most of the talking, she just sat there listening, real quiet. It was tough laying out how I feel about her as a mom, going over all the stuff I've been chewing on lately. It's what's real for me, and I figured she needed to hear it more than anybody else does. She didn't say a whole lot back, just that she gets where I'm coming from and wishes she'd done better by me back then. I wasn't sure what she meant by that, and I didn't press her on it, saving some of it for tomorrow. We're meeting up for lunch, and I'm betting it's going to be stiff and weird. She might play it cool, but I know I'll be a mess. Thinking about seeing her in person's got me all jittery. I keep worrying I'll screw it up somehow, and maybe something will go sideways. Ever since she got hitched again, every talk we have feels like it's headed for trouble, and it usually does. I'm just hoping tomorrow breaks that streak. Update 5, hey, so I'm driving home from that lunch now. Work's off the table, I'm too wiped out. All I want is to crack open some wine, hit the sack, and let the day fade out. My sit down with my mom didn't go like I pictured. It wasn't a disaster, we worked through some stuff, but the outcome's the same. Feels like I got dumped, but worse, because it's not some dumb fling kicking me to the curb for a new girl, it's my mom picking Vanessa over me, and I can't stand that girl. I don't even know where to start, but you've been along for this ride, so you ought to know how it went. We met up, hugged, and for a minute, it felt normal. Then we got into it, and all this envy I'd been carrying boiled over. I told her I wished she'd been the mom to me that she's being to Vanessa now. Didn't even make sense to me, she's a grown woman, but I was a kid when I needed her most. I said I deserved better from her back then, and it kills me to see her turn into this whole new person for them when she should have been that for us. I'm 32 now, sure, but the kid I was still feels cheated out of a real mom, not a different lady, just her, but better. Her eyes got watery while I was unloading all this, and I could tell it hurt her to hear, but I couldn't hold back. Kept going because I might not get another shot to say it all. I told her flat out that I love her, but she could have done more for me, she owed me that much. When I finished, she said she was sorry she didn't try harder for me like she's doing for Vanessa now. Said back then, she just wanted her own life. My folks got married young, family pressure, and had me early too. She wasn't ready to be a mom, but my grandparents pushed her into it anyway. After the divorce, she felt like she could finally breathe, and she got reckless. By then, I wasn't a little kid anymore, and she thought I'd be fine on my own. Truth is, she checked out of our family way before the papers were signed. It's rough, but she didn't want the mom gig, put herself first instead. She admitted it was selfish and dumb, But she'd spent years doing what everyone else told her, and she was done with it. Wanted to live her way, and that meant our bond took the hit. Now, she's ready to play family, be there for people, but it's for Vanessa and Carson, not me. She owned up to it, said I was right, she should have stepped up for us, but she blew it. I thought maybe we could patch things up, start fresh. Nope. She said we should take a break from each other, give it some space, because we're both dealing with heavy stuff, and she can't handle the strain. Said maybe we'd come back stronger later, but that's a load of bull. I know it's really because Carson and Vanessa don't want her near me, and it's obvious who she's choosing. Didn't shock me, but it stung. She had a chance to fix things, be less selfish this time, but she stuck to her old ways and let me down again. It's lame, but I felt like we clicked today, like real people. Guess I was off, her saying sorry didn't change a thing. She's still shutting me out to keep them happy. It's whatever, though. Now I see she's never going to be there for me. Sucks a little, but I'm used to her flaking by now. Time to move on with my life.